No, it is not Ali Khan or Turgut, so we'll just throw that one time.
Every great nation is built on foundation ideas, and the idea behind Trinidad and Tobago is that we are, in fact, a rainbow nation, a rainbow island. Now, somewhere along the line, we may have lost our way and that title. But I believe that if we search well and hard and deep enough, if we find the inspiration that we need as a collective people, we can reclaim that title. Welcome to Trini Inspirations, courtesy and for and on behalf of Fuzz Events and Entertainment in association with Impression Studio. My name is Persevere and I'm delighted to be your host for the second presentation in the Trini Inspirations series. Hope you enjoyed our last and hope you will continue to enjoy the presentations. Today we have a real treat in store for you as we welcome to the Trini Inspirations Spotlight a young lady who goes by the alias of Hijabi Fitness TT on social media. What exactly is Hijabi Fitness TT? Well, it is many things, but for starters, it is breaking stereotypes. Whatever submissive, conservative stereotypes you or I may have had about Muslim women in Trinidad and Tobago mixing and getting out and about, and most importantly, getting active, getting outdoors, and getting sweaty. This young lady, together with her team that comprises the Hijabi Fitness TT team, they are tearing down all of those walls and all of those stereotypes. And that is why we have invited her to the Trini Inspirations studio here in Marabella. We give a warm welcome and salams to a young lady who is an avid fitness junkie, a self-confessed fitness junkie, a runner, a medal hoarder. Hopefully we'll find out how many she has if she has a count. She's also a certified fitness instructor and just generally an outdoors and always active person. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Wa alaikum assalam.
The pleasure is mine to have you with us.
The pleasure is mine being here.
Because like I said to you a little while ago, you know, this is a subject that I'm very vested in, being Muslim myself, and out and about and mixing with everyday folk, you know, everyday Trinbagonians. There are still some pockets of people in this country and many more around the world who have these very stereotypical views of Muslim women. And sometimes they are surprised by the fact that they can see Muslim women engaging in so many outdoor and physical activities. My wife and I hike, for instance, and every time we go out on hikes, there's always somebody in the lot, somebody in the crowd who is very surprised to see, hey, that's a hijabi hiking with us today. That's a hijabi doing this, that, or the other. We cycle a lot, and that's always something to see. You know, people would look at the cyclists as they pass by, and when they see the young lady in hijab, then you see the look of shock. The three cyclists that passed by before was nothing new, nothing exciting, nothing extraordinary, but a woman in hijab, and that raises eyebrows and bells. How have you been breaking down those stereotypes, and what was your motivation for this?
Well, before we get to Hijabi Fitness, as you say in here, Hijabi Fitness had a story. And that story started back in 2015 when my son actually was the one that told me. He said, Mom, I love you, but you need to take care of yourself. And being at that tender age was like amazing to me. Now that I looked at it, he wasn't just looking at me as his mom, he was looking at me as somebody he could see in his life for a long while, right? So in 2015, that journey started with me, emotionally, physically. And in 2018 was first 5K that I ran, which was the cancer 5K that I chose to do. My first 5K at doing that was the cancer run because I wanted something that not just stand out but meant something for me. And while you would be surprised being in the comfort of your home doing exercises, I was very worried being out on the field, on the road, how would I be accepted, and how would they see me? Coming along Queen's Park Savannah, all I can hear was, "Run, hijabi, run!" Literally. And at this point, like, out of the crowd, nowhere, up to this day, I haven't found that person, but that person gave me the confidence to finish out my 5K. And I finished it out, I dropped right down in the ground, right there in front of the police officer, and he came and he's like, "Miss, you need to move." I said, "Sir, I am not moving right now. I just ran my first 5K and I really can't move right now." But the feeling that I felt when I crossed that finish line was a feeling of, I cannot believe that I stepped out of my comfort zone. And something like this just, it sparked that passion inside me, and since then I have never stopped. And now I'm on the road hoping to inspire others to get out there.
When we spoke earlier, you mentioned to me that Muslim women have to give themselves permission to want to pursue a healthier a healthier person, a healthier self. Your inspiration started with your son. He was your spark. And is it safe to say that that moment at the Queen's Park Savannah was the moment that you claimed it for yourself and for your own?
Yes, that moment I gave myself the validation that I didn't need anyone to validate me. It was like that moment I took back the powers of always trying to look through a window for some sort of evaluation from somebody, some sort of acceptance. But being there at that point, crossing that finish line, at my first 5K at that time that I made, it's not just, it's like a whole complete package. And it lifted this sort of weight from me that, listen, you got this. You don't need people to validate you. You are perfectly fine just the way you are. Now get up and do what you want to do. Get up and do what it is that you love to do.
Apart from stereotypes about Muslim women, there are a lot of stereotypes as well about Muslim men. So I just want to shift the conversation quickly to your own husband. On this journey, from the moment your son would have sparked your interest and the moment between then and when you claimed it for yourself, obviously you would have had to have a husband who would have been very supportive of this initiative and of you taking this route and going down this road less traveled at that time from many Muslim women, even here in Trinidad and Tobago. How important is male support in this journey for Muslim women?
Mashallah, is extremely important. First and foremost, without his support and his love and his commitment behind the scenes of Hijabi Fitness, I will not have been able to do majority of the stuff that I am able to do presently. He has been, wow, I can't, like, words itself can't bring, because it's like to see Muslim men on the whole are stereotyped in this negative way by society.
As belonging to a patriarchy.
That's
and
right.
a very chauvinistic.
And to have someone, I will not say, who is like my best friend, who is my #1 supporter, and I am genuinely, like, we have our moments, we are not perfect. I live day by day with him, but he always finds a way to encourage me. And it is, now he cannot, and I kid you all, and this is serious, he will not run a 5K, but he will go and he will support me just by being there. He will not go on a hike, because I actually took him on one, and he sat at one of the points and he was like, "I'll wait for you. You got this, you go ahead."
So he is your biggest cheerleader?
He is my biggest cheerleader.
I looked you in the eyes while you were speaking about your husband, and the same glitter you had in your eyes when you were talking about and recollecting that moment when you fell to the ground after your first 5K, that same passion. You spoke of your husband with that same passion, and alhamdulillah, that is wonderful.
He is, not to stray too much, but he is the main drive, because like sometimes I will get carried away in ideas that I have, and he will tend to be like, okay, if you want to do this, you have to do this and this. So I had a conversation with him last night actually, in terms of I coming out and being open about it, and he was like, listen, I am all for you. I know what you want to do. You know, as you say, you go day by day with me. I am here. And he's like, you do your do. Okay. I mean, I can be honest with you, right? I have to be real. Yes. He's like, you do your do right here, you know.
Now, you would be fortunate in this regard. The real question now is, what about for not just Muslim women, but for women on the whole who grow up in conservative societies or cultures who may not have that male support, whether it comes from father, husband, brother, child, children, or the general community, or in the Muslim circuits, the Jamaat. What if they don't have that male support? What then do you, with all the experiences now under your belt, what would you say to those Muslim women who would love to take this journey but are either afraid or unable to?
I am here 24/7. I have a social media for this purpose. Growing up, when I was small, my mom would be a vouch for this, is that I was always a shy person. But the day I crossed that finish line in 2018, like I said, it sparked something in me. And as I went along that journey, I have met women who have not only held my hand, but I held theirs. And I started to realize that we had something in common. It's not that we are afraid or we don't have, the passion. Is that we don't have the support. And I am here to support you. So anything that you are willing to do, whether it is you want to start your fitness journey but you don't know how to, I am here. And you would not believe it, but you might be inspiring me. Because for year, I have a chat room. I opened a chat when this whole COVID thing happened, right? And I opened myself up to free service for all my females and them, not just within the religious sectors and all, right? And we got, the response on it is overwhelming. And I left the chat open. And every day I will send workout routines. And number one response would always be, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to do this. But it's not because of me.
But I would like to get a little deeper into that point, because we're talking fitness and we're talking outdoors and we're talking activities, but hijabi fitness is so much more than that. I have scrolled through your various social media feeds, and I have noticed, just at a glance, it seems as though there are many more posts and publications that focus on mental health, that focus on just your state of being, on just improving your own self and your own personal development, whether it is on the physical or any other front or aspect of our lives. So this is not just physical. The physical is just one facet of it. This is holistic development for Muslim women and by extension, women altogether. Is it that this was deliberate, or is it that on the fitness journey, you've come to realize that it all works hand in hand? You can't have that physical prowess if you don't have the mental aptitude.
Right. So just before we answer that question, I just want to state I am not a psychologist, right? But being on a journey, you yourself will start to develop a way of thinking. And then on this journey, you realize you're not alone. You realize there are other people that are there who may or may not be going through the same situation or on that same mental path as you, but somewhere along we sort of mesh or we click. So majority of the post, when I read it, I will say, well, okay, so this applies to me. But when I put it out, I will get, oh my God, you're speaking to me. And then you won't believe, majority of the times I'll have conversations with other sisters, not just Islamic in the Muslim faith, but on other faiths, like, my Trinbagonian sisters, then I would say. we'll have conversations outside and we would realize somewhere along we click. We went through the same train of thought, the same emotions. Okay, so how did you get through it? Well, this is how I went through it. How did you get through it? This is how you went through it. Oh, wow. And then it's like, hold my hand, I'll hold yours, and let's go forward. That's how it is. And that's the unity that I want to build in the brand of Hijabi Fitness, that you're not alone. You're here and I am here. Your walk is my walk. Your fight is my fight.
What you have just mentioned there is the essence and the heart of what we hope that this show will highlight and will bring to the fore, because what started off as a closed group of Muslim women under the Hijabi Fitness TT brand went past. You found so much commonality, so many things in common with women folk across the spectrum, that it went beyond the hijab that the Muslim woman wears and connected with the hearts of women, not just Muslim women, but women across Trinidad and Tobago. That is how we are going to continue to break down the stereotypes and break down the walls and break the glass ceiling for women and everybody for that matter altogether. Just to change the topic a little bit though, it's not always mental aptitude and physical prowess and everything along those lines. Your page is also filled with little tidbits of humor in between. And one that caught my eye, which I wanted to ask you about, is a post about Ali Khan. Now, I have heard every Trinbagonian swooning over Ali Khan. And I was surprised to see a post about Ali Khan on the Hijabi Fitness TT page. Now, it wasn't anything inappropriate. It was I think he was doing a promo for a Taco Tuesday or something of the sort. But is it that Ali Khan's reach is so all-encompassing that it doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Baha'i, doesn't matter. As long as you're a Trinbagonian, Ali Khan has a special place in your heart?
So he's going to make me get in some serious trouble here now, right? I'm just saying. It's not just Ali Khan alone. Wow. Yeah, so it's not just him alone. See, what happens is that we as generally have to find a common ground. And I reach out in different aspects, in different areas. And yes, I have plenty Ali Khan followers. Yes, the minute they saw it posted, it went like share.
I think at this point in time, this is where all the men who were looking at the show just decided to click away or move forward. So hi, ladies.
And then there is one show, Ertigal, that came out that told the story about the Osman Empire, right? And one of the character who plays Turgut Alp, he's also his fitness. Hi, ladies. He's one of the fitness junkies also, right?
Right.
So, time and time I would mix it up, entertain, let them know, listen, I am open, I am okay, to share humor, to share different aspects, it's not just basically one way.
Yes. So you're using the humor to connect. To connect the sisterhood, more or less, and so it's almost not any means, but whatever it takes within reason that connects everybody, gives them the motivation, gives them, the mental wherewithal to continue, even if that includes Ali Khan and Ertugrul characters. So my last question, really, the crux of it is when it comes to attire for Muslim women. Now, I ask this question because in my own instance with my wife and I, we're also very active. We cycle, we hike, etc. And we have found that it's very difficult to be able to access Muslim articles of clothing, especially neck and hijab covers, right? That can withstand, and not compromise the structure of the hijab when you're in water or when you are cycling or when you are in just generally engaged in other physical activities. So my question is, I know that there are companies like Nike, Asiya, you mentioned Under Armour, who are doing these things, but you have a great opportunity to lead the charge in this. Is there any ambition, any aspirations toward maybe exploring your own fitness line, especially for Muslim, for starters, and thereafter for everybody else?
I would love to venture in that area. So if anyone's interested to reach out, right? I would love to really do that because there is truly lacking comfortable Islamic wear.
Yes.
Because whereas we might be comfortable in one garment and somebody else may not be.
Yes.
So yes, there is need for it. There is need for some sort of collaboration in terms of that. So if anybody's interested.
So inshallah, God willing, I wish you luck in that regard, because the question really, and which we don't have time to discuss, is whether, and you can give me a quick answer to this, are modesty and exercise mutually exclusive, or could they go hand in hand, even in the absence of these specialist articles of clothing? Clearly, you're making it happen, and many others around the world.
Correct. They could go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You see, I'll answer this real fast, and this is my question to this because I've been asked many times. Once you respect what you have on, and that's the hijab, basically you can do anything. And your hijab does not hold you back. It actually propels you. And I'll give you one real fast story. Time to go collect the medals at one of the events. There were gentlemen there that was handing out the medals, and he saw me coming in and he stopped and he just smiled and he's like, "Hijabi, you did good," and he handed. But he did respect that it has. It goes hand in hand. So once you are comfortable, do not let it stop you. Please don't let it stop you.
Okay, so it's no limitation whatsoever.
It's no limitation.
All right, so I would like to use the opportunity to thank you sincerely for tuning into this second presentation of Trini Inspirations. We are going to end on a high note and a very fun note, because we are going to share with you what we started in our last episode with what is known as top 5. And I'm going to ask Hijabi Fitness TT today 5 quick questions wherein she answers those questions by sharing her top 5 answers for each of them. So, ready to play?
Let's go.
All right. So, top 5. Favorite exercises or types of exercises?
See, so one is planks, definitely. The others will be, I love the punching bags, right? I love that. Weights have now become one of my number 3 because it's lifting weights, right? Running, have to be it, hands down. And my last one, I love nature, so hiking will take that for me.
Beautiful. Top 5 places to work out.
Oh wow, so top 5 places, let's go. Number 1 will be the road because of the running. Number 2 will be in the process of constructing my own female gym, right? So we have a space, so that will be there. Number 3 would be outdoors again. If once you get me outdoors, I will walk with my equipment. So outdoors. Number 4 will be I would have to say the beach. It's ridiculous, but yes, the beach, right? The sun gives like a ridiculous amount of work. And number 5 will have to be in my home.
Okay. Next question, number 3, is your top 5. I'm not sure how you will phrase it, whether it's a cheat meal or a treat meal, but what are your top 5 go-to meals when you want to treat yourself?
Oh boy, you're killing me here. It's done. Okay, so my cheat meals. Okay, so ice cream, dark chocolate.
Is that like the second universal woman's
answer? No, not just any chocolate, a dark chocolate, right?
All right.
Third, really, a slice of pizza. Number 4 and 5, dear God. Okay, no, I don't have no more.
You don't have a 4 and 5?
No.
Chocolate pizza and ice cream?
Yeah.
I'll take it, that's fine.
Yeah,
Fourth question is, what are your top 5 reasons or motivations to keep going, or the top 5 things that got you started?
All right, so my top 5. My number 1 would have to be my family, right? Number 2, the fact that my ladies in general reach out to me. You guys don't understand, but you all give me motivation. So you all are my number 2. Number 3, wow, is the feeling that I get when I accomplish something. So every time I accomplish a goal, that propels me further, right? Number 4, the sense of my mental stability of happiness. That's like a conversation on its own, but yeah, that's like real motivation. When you exercise, you feel in a certain way, you exercise, like that mentality just. And the last one, personally, is for me. My own motivation is that every time I look in the mirror, I always say to myself, you do your due for you and nobody else. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and gives you that health and strength, do it for you.
I love that answer because my mother-in-law always tells me that nobody can take care of you for you. You have to take care of you. You know?
Correct.
So last question is top 5 people or even channels or groups, top 5 people that inspire you.
Okay, so my top 5. No, it is not Ali Khan or Turgut, so we'll just throw that one side, right? We'll just end that conversation right. Okay, so my top 5. My number 1 person who inspired me, Javed Adam, my brother. He is the one that actually, he does all these different weird things, but this guy, oh God, boy, to keep up with him is, so that's my number 1, is him. Hi. My number 2 person who inspired me. So on Facebook, there's a group called Fitness TT, Fitness Sisters TT. It comprises of ladies of around the world. And days that I don't feel like going, I log on to their page. And yes, I have those days, so you are not alone. They inspire me. My number 3 inspirational person, I know her as SM Fitness from Instagram. So while I will stop with her because it's only really 3 because I don't want to fake it or go beyond, right? So she is on Instagram. I was going through a feed one day and I saw her. That was like back in 2016, right? And she came on as like, wow to me. And that girl hasn't left me, and every day I message her in between, and she does read it. So, you know, I message her in between, thanks for the inspiration now and then. So yeah, so that's my top 3. I'm sorry.
That's quite okay. I want to thank you very much for for saying yes to the invitation to participate today. I want to wish you and your sisterhood all the best of luck and best wishes and prayers to support your venture toward the opening of your first all-female fitness center and gym. I'm hoping, God willing, that becomes a reality sooner rather than later. And I also wanted to end by telling you that I hope you know that you're not just inspiring Muslim women or women altogether, but also many men who love their women, their women folk as well. So for instance, in my particular instance, you know, it's a nice inspiration because I've always told my wife, you know, wherever I go, whatever I do, once I'm her husband and she goes with me, you know, and that is perfectly fine. And I love the trails that you're blazing. I love the narratives that you're engaging in online, and I love the way that you are empowering women, like my own wife, like the other women in my family, and all the other women across Trinidad and Tobago and wherever else in the world they may view your content from. You can follow her, Hijabi Fitness TT, on Instagram and Facebook. When are the YouTube videos coming?
When we talk about that.
That's it for episode 2 of Trini Inspirations with Fazir, produced by Fuzz Events and Entertainment Limited and our friends at Impressions Studio. We'll catch you again, God willing, next week for another presentation. Thank you again for joining us in studio, and I'll see you next week.